Alright, so let me start this video off by I'm going to tell you how I figured this out, because I personally got sick of going through, I barely have a cell signal, going through videos and trying to get onto Google or whatever and just get answers to how I can charge the car battery with, well, I didn't have this the whole time, but I had those. I ended up using this, and what I did was, this thing comes with a DC, so it comes with these, I got this all out just so I can show later in the video what I did. It's got this plug, it plugs right into the generator down there. It's got a little DC thing. And you just connect these to the battery and run it and let it charge. What I did was I did it for about 30 minutes. First I tried 10 minutes, turned the key. It didn't work, but it actually turned over more than it did when it was dead. So I realized, okay, good, it's taking it. So then I was like, all right, I'll try 20. And then now I just bust out the manual and have a look and just see what it tells me, how long, all this stuff, which it doesn't. But what I did was I did it for 30 minutes. After I tried 10, then I tried like 15, I think. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try 30. I did it for 30 on economy mode, turned the key, and the car started. That's what I did. So I figured I'd tell you first what I did to save you the time of listening to everything else that I tried, which I'm about to go into. But yeah, so I got this for about 170 bucks at Tractor Supply and connected those, and it worked. And I will say that I would imagine any battery experts are gonna chime in. There's so many technicalities with this stuff. I got confused. I'm not a battery expert. I mean, ideally, I guess you'd want to have, if you want to prepare to charge your battery somewhere on the go, you'd probably want to have a voltage meter and something that can charge a DC battery, not AC. Long story, which you probably know a bit about if you're researching this. I was also reading, it sounds like a generator like this, if you just leave it for like all night, it can charge it too much. They would say maybe cook the battery, boil it or whatever. I don't know. I kind of went up, bumped it up a little bit more time, and on the third time it worked. I don't know if that was a bad idea the way I did it, because it's weird, like when I turn the car on when it's like dead, it doesn't even show me the battery voltage. One thing about the Sportsman, when you look in the manual, it says only do it on, what is it called? Well, there's economy mode, on and off. So economy mode, it's supposed to adjust itself. So you can, you don't have it running too much. I think it's supposed to be running at 50%. So it said, make sure economy mode is off. Well, I was doing that on the second time when I was charging it for 20 minutes. And this little breaker thing right there kept popping. But I remembered that I had gone for like 10 minutes on economy mode, and when I connected the connections, I saw a spark, and it was a little bit charged, I could tell. So, desperate situations, desperate measures. I did what I felt would work. I went back to economy mode, connected it like that, and watched the breaker. For some reason, when I would first start it, like when the car is completely dead, it would break a couple times, like pop that. And then I'd, reset it, push it in, and then it would work. I don't know why. I hope I didn't mess anything up. I don't really have a choice. So I did what I had to do to get the car started. And it was about 30 minutes on this after I had done 10, and then about 15 or 20. And then the third time, and I mentioned those because I don't know if the battery holds some of that charge from those first two charges when you're doing this. I really don't have a clue. I just figured, okay, I tried 10, I tried 15 or 20, so let's try 30. All right, so this has been a bit of a thorn in my side while I've been primitive camping. I've got a thing with the vehicle where I don't want to idle it too much. It's got a code that comes up, and that's another story. But I wanted to show you what I went through to try to figure out how to charge the battery from the first time that it was dead until now, that I actually finally got it charged on my own without an electrical socket or anything. So for camping, what I have that I've gathered over time is a Jackery 240. I have this Sun 1000-watt power bank, which is amazing. And eventually got this Sportsman Generator from Tractor Supply, 170 bucks, 1000-watt generator. And what I really like is that it has a DC output. That is something I was reading about as I learned about car batteries. Initially, I figured, I've got this Jackery and that thing. I'm sure I can figure out some way to connect those to the car battery and just charge it up, right? Nope, not so simple. If anyone watching this now has been through what I've been through, you realize this is like a complicated thing. I mean, it's not really if you get just what you need, but if you're out somewhere and you're just trying to figure out, okay, I've got these power supplies, the battery's dead, can't be that complicated, right? And you come across, if you have a cell signal, you come across AC, DC, and all this stuff. So anyways, I was just going through all my stuff and just trying to figure out what I have as I started to read that a car battery's DC. I'm sure you know that by now if you're looking this up. So you can't just use like a wall plug. You got to use, I don't know if even a lighter plug is going to be enough to charge a car, but these are DC and these are AC. And apparently you don't want to use AC directly on a car battery for reasons that the car battery experts can tell you. But anyways, so I started to figure that out. Okay, it's not so black and white, but I do have a DC outlet on that. The first thing I tried was I found this connector, a DC plug. It was connected to like an air pump, a little air pump thing that I don't use anymore, or something, or maybe it was a DC to AC inverter little thing. I noticed these wires are pretty good size, so the first thing I just try to do is plug this into the Jackery after I splice these. Then I figured out which one's positive, which one's negative. I had to look it up. I believe on these, the one with the stripe is actually the positive on these black wires like this. Definitely look that up, but off of memory, I wrote it down somewhere. And so I connected these two to the jumper cables and connected those to the car battery and just let the Jackery sit. And after a while, I noticed that the power was just staying the same. When I looked at the readout on the Jackery, you can just go like that and see what the percentage is. Can't see it, hands, but right now it's 75%. There we go. So that didn't work. So now I've got this bigger power bank, and it does have a DC connection, but it's different. Let me see if I can see it right now. If you see those two right there, that's the DC connection on this. And off of memory, I didn't think I had that, but eventually I did look through all my stuff and I realized, oh, I do have it. I tried this, so I used this with that same setup with the DC plug that I made and went through the jumper cables like that. And the power was going down and everything else. And I went for, gosh, eventually I watched that thing go down like 40%. And that's 1,000 milliamp hour, I believe. So I figured that's probably bigger than a car battery. I don't know, but it's got to be enough. So when it went down like 40%, or maybe it was even 60, I noticed that that's going down and I'm not seeing any difference. Like when I turn the key, the car is just completely dead. So that was basically a no-go. And the way that I ended up getting started on 2 occasions was had to call someone and ask for a jump. So then I just was looking up generators thinking I could charge those without needing a power source. And as I was looking them up, I noticed that this one said it has a DC plug for charging, 12-volt batteries and all that. DC batteries like cars. So no brainer. And this is 170 bucks, 1,000 watts. And it worked. Ran it for 30 minutes, like I said, on the economy mode. After a few duds, it didn't work. The last time after 30 minutes on economy mode, I just opened the door, put the key right in the ignition, and just turned it and it started up. So that was that. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully I saved you a little time if you're you know, backs against the wall or something like that. Of course, it doesn't really help much if you're stuck somewhere and someone tells you you need a generator, but at the very least, you'll know that that kind of stuff doesn't work if you're trying to figure out if it does. Because I looked it up and I kind of got lost with being able to do stuff when I'm not able to go to the store and get like a inverter or something like that, just what I have on hand. So I eventually did get this for the next time that if the battery died, which does happen, and it worked, so I'm pretty pumped. So hopefully that helped.